Okay, hello. I'm so glad you're here, and I get to introduce you to Lynette McCormack, who is a creatively fit coach and officially now an alchemical creation goddess. And I am so excited that she and I are collaborating to create this special edition vision quest, the Elemental Priestess edition. And Lynette and I have never fully had this conversation, so we are bringing you in behind the scenes. And Lynette, thank you for, I just am so excited to work with you on this. And work is not the right word, of course. But
so excited to play, yes.
No. Okay, so share with us your journey to the alchemical creation goddess. Like, when did you begin this training? When did this start for you?
Well, actually, I think my love and interest in maybe obsession, it's actually an obsession with the elements, started a little bit before that. And it came out of I'm a visual facilitator. So, big paper, drawing on paper. Probably back in the early 90s, I was starting to design my own templates and tools to use in the work that I was doing. And my mentor, David Sibbett from the Grove Consultants International, he was showing me how, the ground, that's where you talk about what's happening in the physical realm. And then you can make some clouds and some air, and that's what's happening in the mental realm. And you can add water, and that would be the emotional realm. And, and then the sun and the light, that's the fire realm. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. That makes a lot of sense. And so go fast forward a little bit. I was at a facilitation mastery class with him in the early 2000s. And it's like so long ago, I'm so old, but so long ago, he had this model for how to take people through, groups through processes and using the elemental forces and to be thinking about what you needed to do with the group at different times with the elements. So then I was hooked. I was looking for anything I could find about the elements and how they worked. And a woman invited me to go to a little pre-workshop kind of intro thing with a woman named Lisa Michaels. Okay. Who is an amazing, amazing, amazing priestess, and has written several books, and does a lot of online courses on the elements. And I started working with her in person. I'm thinking it was probably about 10 years ago.
So, okay, I have to just say first, and for those of you watching this, if you have not been exposed to the ways that the elements air, water, fire, earth are so intertwined with your life and the world around us, I want you to hear in Lynette's story how the elements found her in a very kind of practical way, right? Because Lynette and I met in that kind of creative problem-solving world. And, but it activated something in you, right? Mm-hmm. That spark mm-hmm. was ignited, and there was a remembering. And I've always called Lynette one of my priestess creatively fit coaches. And I really believe that so many of us hold this deep ancient wisdom that is so inseparable and actually originates in Mother Earth. And so for those of you that have found us right now in this conversation, I would like to suggest that there is a deep knowing within you, that if right now you looked outside the window and connected to an element, is it earth speaking to you, air, fire, or water, that there would be information for you into your life right now. And that's what's wanting to come in, right? Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And throughout the day, there could be different elements that really want to be speaking to you, which is really exciting. Mm-hmm. So I started my journey with Lisa, and started off really being introduced to the elements in a much deeper level than I had really even anticipated. And to be honest, I went to the priestess training process, and I said, I'm not going to be a priestess. I mean, that's not I don't really need to do all that. I just want to learn about the elements. And here I am 10 years later, totally just in love with the elements, and also with my role as priestess, high priestess, and creation goddess.
Yes.
And so excited to be joining with my creatively fit coach.
Mhm.
It's just an amazing opportunity. So I remember being my very first kind of personal introduction where we were sent out into nature to have a conversation with each one of the elements. And we started with earth and just sitting on the ground, just feeling the support and the foundation that earth gives us, seeing the growth coming out of the soil, and just maybe even for the first time feeling this kind of resonance with the majesty that is the earth,
Mhm.
that just kind of step by step processing of just everything that we count on for ourselves, and then to also recognize that we are an earthen container ourselves. Yeah. And that we have all of the elements, whether you have access to big water or not, for example, you are water. You
Yeah.
have water. So you have access to the elements wherever you are, whenever you are.
And so Lynette, when you started, so what I hear you saying and kind of knowing a little of the backstory, is that there was a kind of awakening, right,
Mm-hmm.
as
Yeah.
you got into these elements. And what changed for you? What were some of the magical and kind of practical shifts in how you went about your life and your business and your relationships? Like what changed when you started working with the elements?
I think the biggest change for me, and I can't really pinpoint when it happened. It probably was in that first 9-month period of really getting to know, being introduced to, like making friends with. Because I think for a while I was thinking about the elements metaphorically, as a facilitator, kind of thinking about it as a metaphor. And what I know now is no, they're real, they're allies, they're here to work with us and support us in so many ways. And if that makes anyone uncomfortable that's listening, you can think about it metaphorically too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think what shifted for me was really feeling and I'm feeling the presence right now. The elements have just come to be with me. I have an elemental altar in my office right there. And so I bring in the elements every day into my workspace and into my studio. But I think that shift happened probably after that first 9 months when I thought, oh, well, yeah, I want to do more. I want to go and do the high priestess, and I want to learn more. I want to learn the next level, the next powers of each one of the elements and how they work, and how spirit moves through all of the elements and works with the elements and with us. And so
Did you find yourself, for example, becoming more confident? Was there more prolific? Was it more like, your intuition was heightened? Did you feel more sense of unity or like coincidence? All of the above? Like, how
I
did it?
think it was like all of the above. But for me, I think a lot of it was I had been living my life in my head. I don't know if you know what I mean, but
Really?
I'm a very strong thinker. And so I was just always in my head. And I don't know. In fact, I remember telling someone that I wished I felt like I belonged in my body. And that was like maybe a little bit before I started this. And so I think that for me, the biggest thing was it brought me into being fully present on the earth plane, in my body, really connecting with life in a really big way. So for me, that was the biggest shift, was from just living in my mental realm.
Right.
I mean, air realm is great, mental realm is great, but it's not everything. And so being, fully embracing, fully feeling my way into every single moment and every single day and every single year has been really incredible. And so that's when I started getting the urge that I needed to be making more big art. So I had done a lot of like little things, little art, little tiny, paintings on little things. Yeah, little drawings in my journal. I do a lot of visual journaling, so I was doing like that. And then I thought, I want to do big paintings. I want to do big paintings, bigger.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
so even before I joined you for Creatively Fit Coaching, I was on one of the 24-hour paint jams. And my intention for that paint jam was to break out of my little 3x3, 6x6 canvases and paint on the biggest canvases that I could afford at that time. So I had gone to a store, bought a whole bunch of canvases. I think I painted 12, 13 paintings, or at least got them started, and they were all on huge, big, for me, big canvases.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I thought, this is something that I really want to continue my expression of creativity that's coming through my being fully in my present life with art. And so that's when, I think it was a few years ago, and I said, this is the time, Whitney. I've been thinking about this for a long time. The time is now. The time is now.
Right, exactly. And, it's because the Mother Earth is like the ultimate creative manifestation. And all you have to do is look outside at any time of the year, and there's some stage of creative development happening out there.
Yes.
And so, the feminine and Mother Earth is that creatrix energy. So to connect with that at the canvas, imagine the canvas is like your earth, and you get to create whatever you want. And when you connect to that deep truth of creativity, not that it's not about being good or having talent or inheriting that creative gene, we are creativity animated. Like we are, that life pulse is our creative spirit. So when you connect to that at the canvas, which that's really, so we're both involved in this, intertwined in this alchemical creative experience. And that's really what this Vision Quest is all about. And what Lynette's going to bring to it is more of the priestess, the altar, the ritual, the personal ceremony, to really weave you in so much deeper. And what I know to be true for myself is that, there's kind of this perception that the magic and spirit all exist up there, heaven, or, kind of outside of this real world stuff. And the truth is that there's just as much magic down here all around us that we can touch and we can see and we can very realistically interact with. And that when we remember that union of the energy from above and below, that's when life really hits the sweet spot, right? And so whatever it is you've been like yearning to create, mine and Lynette's intention with this special edition Vision Quest, the Priestess Elemental Edition, is that we really animate you, that we awaken within you that exact creative frequency that will just naturally evolve to develop what it is that has been longing to grow from within you and manifest into this physical reality. So in the next video, and we'll post the link, we're going to talk a little bit more specifically about this union of art and Vision Quest and what Lynette is going to bring to the table. I'm so grateful, Lynette, that you followed your followed the energy, followed your interest. I love, like, oh, I don't really need the priestess thing. That's
I'm not going to do that.
right? That was kind of my relationship with the goddess way back. It was like, yeah, I don't need that goddess stuff, but oh my gosh, there is just such a wellspring of wisdom and support for us when we connect to this wisdom and just this. It's like putting on these glasses and seeing the truth, right? It's like, wow, like you said, there are allies all around us, and we can hold a question, hold a desire in our awareness and look outside. And I promise you guys, you'll learn how the elements in Mother Earth will like literally rise up to give you the answer. And it could just be like seeing the bud of a fruit, in a fruit tree, or the way the winter, the snow is like a blanket, right? There's just beautiful, simple wisdom available to us. It's going to be an amazing quest.
Yeah. Join us, join us.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Join now for sure. It starts June 21st. You can go to visionquestcreatively.com to register. This is a super accessible program. And if you have any questions, you can email us at connect@whitneyfreya.com. So we look forward to weaving together all the magic and the color and the community with you this summer. Bye, everyone.